Sup guys, as you can tell, I am still in Australia and I'm not complaining. I am not complaining, not one bit. I think I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. How long that is, I genuinely don't know. But training's going really well. So 10K swims in the morning are kind of becoming quite normal now. I spoke before about habituating that mileage, that work capacity. And that's become pretty casual. So I've done a 10K swim this morning, a little bit sunburned. I'm just checking the mirror. That's my fault. I will be covering up. I kind of underestimated the Australian sun. So if I look a little bit haggard, that's what it was. So I've done that. Now I'm going to do a weight session and also turn it into a bit of a surf and turf workout where I'm going to go for a 20K trail run. Also as well, this kind of video, this is, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm in a bit of a strange headspace because it's coming up to 3 years since I did the GB swim. And I don't know, I'm just kind of, maybe it's been in Australia, maybe Byron Bay, looking out at sea, but I'm just getting a little bit nostalgic. And I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't it be cool to put your goggles and trunks on, you know, for a cause or a campaign again? Speaking of which, this gym that I'm even at, so this is a good friend of mine, Hutch, who is a founder, big chief dog of Wild Ark. If you don't know, they do some amazing things all around the world for conservation and promoting biodiversity. I actually knew about Hutch as well because of the work they do in Namibia, and I lived in Namibia for a while with the Sam Bushmen. So speaking to people like Hutch, who are just good people, and they just want to just leave the world a better place than we found it. I think that's kind of the best way to describe him. And we're throwing around ideas about a potential swim, charity, you know, something. There's no definitive plan. I'm just training. But if someone needed me to put my goggles on, I would. So I'm waffling a little bit because that's why my head is all over the place. With all of that said, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to start doing some of my strength-based prehab, rehab. Then I'm going to go for a trail run. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, just going to do a very quick weigh-in. As I said before, I think I should be losing weight. I don't think I am. Considering the mileage that I do it, I think I'm slightly overeating, and I hold my hands up. And I know that I'm guilty of that. But I just think one thing, I was 90 kilos last time, one thing that I don't want to do with all of this mileage that I'm doing, you've got to recover and you've got to fuel it properly. So with all of that said, I was 90, I'm now 92. So since my last vlog, I put on 2 kilos, it's a good 2 kilos. Like I said, I think eventually, form follows function. I think eventually I will start to swim myself a little bit slimmer. But right now, I'm slightly overeating as I start to habituate that new sort of work capacity and volume. So 2 kilos, a little bit heavier, but I know why. Oh my God. Okay, so I am gonna start with a strength workout. Like I said, this is strength prehab and rehab. I did a video on this with Jono where we talked about mechanotransduction, so check that out if you haven't already. But what I've started doing with my strength training, because I'm leaning slightly towards swimming and specializing in that again, I've stripped everything out of my strength training. So I don't really squat, bench and deadlift anymore. And this was actually inspired by Bruce Lee. So for those who don't know, I cover this in my new book, Blueprint, put a link below to pre-order. But Bruce Lee basically snapped one of the nerves in his back because he was basically overtraining in good mornings. He used to love good mornings as an exercise just because it really strengthened that posterior chain. And they said that he wouldn't walk again. He certainly wouldn't be doing JKD ever again. And I think it was about 6 months to a year, and he was just researching everything from, you know, bodybuilding, fencing, judo, and he completely stripped all of his strength and conditioning back. It's kind of where I'm at with everything that happened with my shoulder in surgery, and I cover this in the new book. I'm just stripping everything back in my training, and if I don't need it, I don't put it in there. Again, adaptation and energy. Talk about that with Verkhoshansky. You've only got a certain amount of adaptation energy in any single given day or workout. So, do I need to squat right now to be a better swimmer? No. Deadlift? No. So everything that you're about to see is very specific preparedness. Going from general physical preparedness to specific preparedness. Watch So 10K swim done, strength workout, prehab, rehab done. Now, still building that work capacity, base mesocycle that I keep on talking about. So I'm going to turn it into a surf and turf training session. I'm going to bust out a 20K run. I love the trails here. Take a peek at this. Australia, take a bow. That is a pretty good trail. So I don't really know the gradient speed or anything. That I'm going to try and keep it aerobic, which is going to be a little bit tricky with some of the hills. And also as well, usually I walk around semi-naked in England. However, I've quickly learned that the Australian sun is not to be play around with. So Gymshark have actually sent me, this is wicked, this is the new Apex range, and it's light enough as well, so you kind of like, even if you're sweating in the heat, kind of keeps you cool, but equally offers a little bit of protection from the sun, which is very, very important. Skin cancer is no joke, so that is why I'm busting this out. With all of that said, once I finish today, that'll be a pretty good day. In terms of the volume, that'll be a good day, and like I said, I'm habituating this now, and then there is talk of going out on a boat. But before we do that, 20K run. Right, I'm going exploring.
What's the cruising speed of a dolphin?
It's like 8, 9 knots.
What can you do?
Not 8, 9.
Oh,
That is nuts.
where I surfed North Wall this morning, Ross, there's a beacon that goes off if a tag shark goes past it. And as we're paddling out, my mate goes, "Oh, you know, this a great white and a bull shark went past here an hour ago." I'm like, awesome. We still paddled out.
Just don't tell me. Don't want to know. How long have you been doing this, Craig?
Since I was probably 7 years old, and my son's 4, and I took him out yesterday. He loves it. He comes out, just me and him, and he's addicted to seeing whales and dolphins. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's good. So, yeah, it's addictive. Once you get a taste for it, you'll be bringing me up every day. This is called the SS Walling Bar, and it sank just over 100 years ago. It was a part of the old whaling station up here in Byron. So we had like probably 4 years of whaling before they stopped it. And our whaling, the whales that they were harvesting, they got the numbers down to about 4,000 migrating up and down the east coast. We're up to 40,000 now, so they've recovered really well. But yeah, so back then, I think it was, 1920s they were whaling. So yeah, it's a different world now, and it's good to see the change.
I just feel people are really like conscientious about like the ocean, like, and just conservation.
Yeah.
Like it just, like, I don't know, it attracts those people, doesn't it?
It does,
do you
yeah.
find, because you've lived here for so long, do you find that?
Living here, you see the beauty of, like, we've got so much amazing marine biodiversity. Like we're in the marine parks right now. Our marine park extends right out to Julian Rocks and a little bit further. It goes all the way south to Lennox Head. So you know, everyone around, you know, in the council, they know that to protect the area because it's so important. So I think everyone that moves here wants to move here because of that nature aspect. You know, we've got the hinterland just out there with the rainforests, and so we've got such an amazing ecosystem around here to protect.
So wrap training, and then I got a phone call from a very good friend of mine, Craig Parry. For those who don't know, how would I describe you, Craig? World acclaimed international photographer. So yeah, Craig, absolute Brasided photographer, waterman, and he messaged me and was like, dude, it's gonna be an amazing sunset. You need to get on the boat. So I didn't need much convincing. Ron Christian holding the camera, Luke Zocchi. Zocchi, how would I introduce you again? You're hard to explain. Strength and conditioning coach, coffee mogul.
I'm just Luke Zocchi. Proceed, Ross.
This is the team I'm working with. So I've decided to rock on out here. Fingers crossed, we're going to get an amazing sunset. So there was an amazing one yesterday. I missed it because I was swimming and I had my face in a bowl of porridge, so I actually missed it. But fingers crossed we get an amazing one today. So I think we've got an hour till sunset, whilst Craig and Zocchi teach me everything there is to know about the coastline of Byron Bay. Some of the facts, I don't know if they're true. I'm going to have to double check them because Craig's seems legit. Zocchi told me a story about a goat that... Tell everybody the story about the goat.
There was one that survived. They relocated some mountain goats and they couldn't catch this one mountain goat. So it
was the Ross of goats.
Yeah, it was just this one goat who lived on the edge of the cliff for years and then one day disappeared. So I think he carved it. He died. And I've got another story, Ross.
He's got
Was it in the 60s when the car drove off the edge? Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I heard that one.
But a car drove right there. They went through the railing off the cliff.
Okay, some of the stories are going to be cheerful, some less so. We'll edit around that, we'll include the goat. But no, all jokes aside, the people of Byron, it's amazing, whether that you're surfing, swimming, there's just such a connection with the water. So that's why it's going to be amazing, just to rock out here. Fingers crossed, we're going to tune back in. Amazing sunset. It's just, guys, I'm not going to actually cheapen this with words, so I'm going to keep this really, really short. But Craig promised us an unbelievable sunset. Take a peek at this. This is the thing, I'm getting so nostalgic at the moment, and I think I started this whole video talking about wanting to get back in the water. It's been 3 years since the GB swim, and we came out here looking for an amazing sunset. We got one. I don't know if you believe in symbolism. We saw whales, we saw dolphins, and now we've been gifted this. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this real short because that speaks for itself. But I just want to get back to land. I want to make some phone calls, and you know, it would be amazing to put the goggles on and do something for charity or an amazing cause again. So, like I said, this has been a pretty epic day, but what a way to end. Take a peek.